Hello, hello everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Let me know in chat. I'm waiting for my friend to join me. There she is. Hello, Jen.
Better?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I still hear you like really, um, like your voice is distorted.
Well,
But
does
I don't know
anybody
how
else
Jen
hear
hears me.
that? How do you guys, are you guys hearing me okay in chat? I'm waiting to see what chat
So
says.
I am live in Kenosha now. I see a lot of reporters. Um, there aren't many people out here on the side streets, but I have a feeling that we're gonna find a crowd here. Yep, there it is. Um,
We sound fine
and
to
this.
everybody else, so I only just sound distorted to you, crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, Jen, I put on a solo
Good.
view, so sorry if you can hear me panting because I haven't exercised since like '98, but that's okay. So, how about this trial? This is unbelievable.
I'm I'm
Whew.
I'm shocked, frankly. I am shocked
Yes.
because I
Oh my
I
gosh.
wasn't anticipating he would get convicted on every charge, right? But when they gave the option for lesser included charges, I thought that he would be found guilty on a lesser included charge, for sure. I think we lost our Dr. B. Yeah, we did. Well, hi everybody in chat while we wait for her to come back. I mean, wait, Shmita, wait. I think if we're going to discuss this situation, there has to be some ground rules. And I think one of the first ground rules there should be not, first of all, calling names, because even though let's start there. Let's start with how about we don't call names. Okay. Um, I feel that this case can and should be discussed if we remove our gut and initial emotions from it. If we're going to discuss this case and we're going to discuss why we think that the jury found him not guilty, then we cannot discuss it with our emotions. It must be discussed with the laws. And the truth is, he was acquitted. Okay, I get it. But he did break a couple of laws. And I'm not talking about the big ones. I'm not talking about the crimes that he was indicted for. I'm just talking about the lesser included charges. I'm not talking about the curfew either, because I actually support the Second Amendment. So I think that gun ownership is a right in this country. But I will say that responsible ownership is also needs to happen. Okay, so if we're going to discuss this verdict, like I said, I feel like we should be able to discuss it rationally without resorting to name calling, without trying to bring up religion or your personal politics, meaning the way that you vote, because I don't know that about you. And likewise, you don't know that about me. So I would appreciate that. I've been respectful. I would appreciate respect in return. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know how much more I'm going to be saying in case if Dr. B doesn't get back in here.
All right.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, sorry about that. I lost connection probably.
Now, Chris, I will say the same thing. He shouldn't have been there. And one of the elements in this case goes to basically to, and it does in any stand your ground situation. It really relies on what the person who did the shooting was thinking of at the time. And I think that we can all agree that if he would never have been there that night, this never would have happened, right? I think we can all agree that. I think we can all agree that at 17 years old, he shouldn't have been out there in the first place. I wouldn't let my kid go out there. That's just me. I think we can all agree to that. It was not a safe area, and to begin with, what was going not that it was not a safe area. It's not what I mean to say. What was going on was not a place for a minor, regardless of the fact that he was 17 and a year away. That's a critical year. SM, I'm saying it's not okay for anybody. I did not address anybody specifically. I said no name calling. Period. That's it. That's all I said. Maybe you're not even talking to me. I can't. I mean, I have to scroll the comments. Sorry. I'm not okay. Can you hear Dr. B? Because I think we need to address some issues and situations in chat. Oh, okay, SM. I agree. I feel like he should be responsible for the lives that he took. That's what I'm saying. I have said from the very beginning, in my opinion, I'm not willing to throw a 17-year-old away for the rest of his life or her life. They're not their frontal cortex, this is where their decision making skills come from, isn't completely developed, right? So they can't make judgments with long-term consequences. Obviously, a gun is a weapon, and it is a weapon that is intended to kill. Period. Okay? Could he have shot anywhere else? Sure, he probably could have shot him in the toe. I don't know, right? But I'm saying that a gun is intended to use deadly force. That's what it's intended for. It's intended to stop an attacker. Okay. I think what got lost in all of this is the fact that while Kyle may have seen the people who were approaching him as a threat, the people who were approaching him saw him as a threat as well. And that's the problem. That's really the whole crux of this issue. That's the crux of the issue for me. So, because I think if you think about it and you watch that footage, which is what the jury was shown, right? The kid with the skateboard specifically was intending to stop what he saw as a threat. So, this is it's a sad situation. It's sad all the way around. So while I am not so sure that I would have been if I heard what the jury heard, right? And remember, we all, if you even if you didn't hear anything else and all you did was simply observe the trial because it was covered, right? Gallow to gallow. Isn't that what they call it? Anyway, um even if you just watched that, we heard a lot of things that the jury did not get to hear. And I personally don't think that he should have gotten nothing. I do think that he should be held responsible because he did actually break some laws. That's my opinion. The jury didn't see it that way, and that's the way that it is. I well, I don't know, Teresa, because they were allowed to find lesser included charges, and I think he was guilty on some lesser included charges. I do. So, but um, you know, Chris, I think this is the problem with what took place all over the country during that time. There were actual protests, right? That's how it started out. Now, people have differing views and differing opinions on when it changed and who caused the change, right? For it to escalate. But I watched all of this throughout the whole time and throughout various different cities that it was happening in. And what I saw was that even when there was rioting, there was also protesting. So It's all messed up. Dr. Bree, we cannot hear you, babe. I don't know if you can hear us. Yeah, her signal is just not good. I'm sure it's not going to be very good just because so many people down there. So I'm just going to try to hold down the fort. Now, one thing I will say that always that when I was listening to the trial that I was confused about was why he left where he was in the first place. Only because, according to his testimony, right? Um, the reason that he went to the other or was on his way to the other carport was because of a phone call, but that phone call came after he'd already left. So I did not understand why he made the decision to leave. That is the part that I was confused about coming from him.
This is some bullshit.
What's
I
going on, Dr. V?
I cannot get a damn signal if my life depended on it.
You
Even
got your
though,
Wi-Fi turned off though, right?
yes.
Okay, just checking. Did,
Yeah, I
did
mean,
you did
even
you
though
try
I
to
have,
turn it off and restart it?
no, I'm about to throw it up in here. That's what I'm about
Well,
to
let's not do that.
do. Yeah, it's really annoying, but um, yeah, so I have to be mindful of where I walk. But
Mhm.
right now, really, I mean, right now, there's people arriving. I do see like groups of people just kind of joining the
Mhm.
crowd that's standing around. I just saw another group that came up to the steps of the courthouse and they were kind of chanting something. And
Okay.
there, there's people giving interviews. So far, nothing major going on. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, see, this is the spot where I might lose connection again.
Oh,
I'm just trying to find a spot where I can stay put and not lose you guys.
right.
Hi Heather, with that whatever. I always say whatever wrong when I say your name. Can you guys see the crowd over here?
Mhm. Yeah, we can see.
Oh, I wish I could get closer so I could like ask questions maybe and see what people are saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go around the other way, like
Okay.
around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe we'll catch something interesting behind the courthouse
There you go.
and not the sheriff's. Here's the Kenosha courthouse. Man, Kenosha is such a beautiful little town.
It is pretty. Yeah, but Chris Myers, when he testified, he got a phone call asking to help after he'd already left. So what I'm curious about is what made him leave in the first place. That's what I'm asking because I couldn't get that from his testimony. I never could figure out. Hi, Monica. I never could figure out what made him leave in the first place. I will say this, regardless of how you feel about this verdict, this is the justice system, and it was the verdict. And I hope that if we can learn anything, it will be that what led up that we don't repeat the same and cause another issue because we're upset about the verdict. Or you know what I'm saying? I agree with that, Amber Love Reigns. I do think that when he cried and I
Okay,
do think that that emotion was
so
genuine.
far
I do. I think he was
so
relieved.
good with the signal.
I don't know if you're directing that to me, Joe Thompson. What I'm saying is violence is it's what started this trial to begin with. And so if people are unhappy with the verdict, violence is not the answer. There's no need for rioting and burning down buildings and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about race.
Oh my God. Look, this how. Well, no.
Hey, Allie79, how's it going? Well, yeah, Chris Frederick. Yeah, yeah. Most people would be relieved not to be going to prison. So I'm not giving him credit. I'm just commentary. I'm just commenting on that. I feel that that reaction was genuine. Come on, you guys. Let's be cool in the chat, please. Thank you, Allie. I try to listen. I think having different viewpoints and different opinions is like what makes the world go round. If everybody sat in here and said, "Oh yeah, Jen, you're absolutely correct," and never challenged me, I would be so bored and actually less of a human. I think you learn from being challenged. So I feel like everybody should, as long as you can express your opinion without throwing a jab and calling a name. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I don't even know why I'm explaining this. but I don't think it's necessary. I don't need, I mean, could I? Sure. We'll be live later tonight doing a roast. That's where that's when I do my jabs, not at the chat and not at, coolest reviews. Yeah. I will say this. One of the things that I was absolutely, completely, and totally, and the girls will tell you this, fascinated by in this trial was the legal back and forth. That is something that I absolutely and thoroughly enjoyed, because it was like watching a really great debate and listening to two different sides with obviously opposing viewpoints on their interpretation of the law, and even not even just on their interpretation of the law, their interpretation on what the judge ruled at certain points. And I found it to be fascinating. I have to say, I did not understand, not because like I couldn't understand what they were trying to convey. I got the point, but I didn't understand the kerfuffle over the pinch to zoom. Um, because I mean, I thought it was a brilliant move. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was great, but I did not agree with that point that the defense attorney made. I don't, pinch and zoom does not alter an image in so much that it changes what you see. It's a zoom feature. It's, and I understood that the judge, his point was, well, me sitting here with a magnifying glass is very different than what amounts to basically a machine, interpreting what it sees, right? But then to that point, I would argue, yeah, it is a machine, but it was programmed by humans. So it's not quite Skynet yet. I just didn't understand that, you know, I didn't understand that point. I'm looking at chat. Sorry. Hold on. There was a comment. Oh, I'm not running the stream, so I can't highlight comments. Okay. So Crimezilla wrote, the media amps up all cases for their benefit, and it's sad. I agree. I agree. What I thought was exceptional about this particular case is that there were so many regular people out there with their own, with their phones recording. So a lot of what the mainstream media got.
Can I just get a confirmation that you see and hear me?
I see and hear you, babe. You've just been
Okay,
so
thank
in and
you.
out that I've just sort of been trying to carry the show.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
it's really frustrating. I think like with all these people here, maybe like the network's like overwhelmed or something, but I cannot, like as soon as I approach the crowd, I get kicked off. So it's
Yeah,
really frustrating. So yeah, but really, like I said, nothing really going on. There's a small group of protesters and mostly just media.
right. Good.
But as you know, as the day kind of goes on, it's only 2 o'clock, 2:15 here,
Hmm.
and people start getting off work and coming home and doing all that stuff. Like, I don't know if there will be anything going on tonight, but as for right now, it seems, um, it seems peaceful and well controlled. But yeah,
Um, Well, this is what I think. What I was going to say. Let me finish my thought because it's going to go away. I can already feel it leaving my brains. I think what was so fascinating and exceptional in this situation is that under other circumstances, we might have only been able to get what the mainstream media put out, right? But because there were so many people down there and they were live streaming, just some of them just straight to their I can't tell y'all how many Facebook live streams I watched, just regular Facebook streams, not like pages or anything like that. And I think that that made this different. And so I feel like when I think like I said before, I think everybody's opinion should be respected, period. Even if I don't agree with it, I'll respect that you have your right to it, right? But I also feel like what I've seen a lot is like finger pointing as if because somebody feels that he should have been found guilty at least on something. Immediately it goes to, well, you just believe what the mainstream media tells you. How do you know what my eyes saw? What I watched? I watched all the riots, all the protests, all the things. Even when they were here in Florida, I watched. And I watched when I watched the protesting, I was proud because that's what you do to effect change. You protest. That's why we have the right to protest, right? Let's be honest. This country was founded on pure rebelliousness. If the people that came here initially weren't rebellious, A, they wouldn't have been here, but B, we would never be our own country. We would still be controlled by England. So we're a nation based on rebellion and uprising. Okay. So there you go.
These fine Wisconsin men.
Well, so hop on in. Uh,
I'm
oh,
just kidding,
oh,
y'all.
hey.
They're cheese heads. And I
Okay.
get to say that because I live.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that doggy. He's like, I want to see.
And I do feel like
Yes.
I understand that people are
Okay, so
passionate
Jen,
on
I
both
hear you.
sides. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do hear you with the rebellion part and the protesting part, but uh, this particular case, so Kyle was not out there um, practicing his First Amendment, right? Like he wasn't out there protesting. He wasn't
No.
asked to. He wasn't asked to be there. He drove across the state line with a gun that he wasn't supposed to have in his possession, which conveniently, those two charges were dropped right before jury went into deliberation. So, so when you take away the illegal premise of him even being there by dropping those charges, and then you allow shenanigans in court to happen, such as I have a lot of respect for the judge who presided in this case, but I feel that there's times where he was completely inappropriate. He he played Jeopardy with the jury. Like he screamed at the prosecutor, which interrupted the prosecutor during cross-examination, during closing arguments, and I feel like that was a circus. It felt like a circus, and with his behavior, I feel like that the judge almost acted like a quasi defense attorney for Kyle on some level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 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 I find that like deeply disturbing. But again, at the end of the day, this is Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is is a red state, as they say, and they're very conservative. So I guess I'm not surprised with the verdict. And then one more thing I'll add on here. Uh, so, as many of you know, I worked for the state of Wisconsin for a while in Department of Corrections. So I got to deal with people who were convicted every day, um, and I got to see, what they ended up obviously in prison for. And let me tell you that the justice system in Wisconsin is definitely not equal, and and it's not consistent. It's not consistent in terms of how people are sentenced. And now people want to say that there's not, like, this is not about race. This is about this is about that. Well, it is about race, and Wisconsin in particular. There have been studies done to examine whether or not um, the sentencing or the conviction rates in Wisconsin were prejudiced in any way. And the results of those studies, in fact, did show that judges in Wisconsin definitely um, are harsher towards people of color and minority groups. So there's that. So it's not a single isolated incident. It's not just about your right to defend yourself, like people. Of course, you have your Second Amendment. No one's after that, but there's a lot of um, injustice here. Like, I can't believe that they didn't even take into consideration the lesser charges,
Right.
because I mean, running around with an AR-15, I would say, is endangering the public. Shooting out of it is especially endangering the public. And shooting out of it, look, in a residential slash downtown area where there's people constantly, no matter what time of day, there's churches here, there's schools here, and you're running. This is Sheridan Road, okay? This is Sheridan Road. This is where Kyle would be running down in
Mm-hmm.
this direction.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the artery of Kenosha. This is the main road. And he's running down Sheridan Road with a loaded gun and somehow is not reckless, right? So that's
Right.
what I'm concerned with. I guess I understand. As to Rosenbaum, first of all, I will never understand taking a human life, but this is the nature of the world we live in. But
Correct.
with regards to Rosenbaum, I can see how the jury can find the elements for self-defense, but for the life of me, I don't understand how he was found not guilty for murdering Anthony Huber in the middle of Sheridan Road. In the middle of Sheridan Road, and walk. That's what I don't understand.
What I will agree with you, and I am always interested in people's reactions to verdicts, especially very emotional reactions, right? I I don't understand how I'm just going to say it. I don't understand how anybody could be could feel joyous in this situation. Regardless of whether you feel he's guilty or innocent, at the end of the day people lost their lives. There is no joy in that, in my opinion. So to me, I always find it interesting when people react that way with joyous, you know.
My God, what is this? Jeez. I think I have a sensitivity to like really loud cars. When
Mhm.
people get like rage when they hear someone chewing. That's how I get with these loud ass cars and motorcycles. I just want to like kick them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, girl. Don't crash into the bus now.
Well, see, here's the
Okay,
interesting thing about.
there's people gathering around the car over there. I wonder if that's
Oh,
Kyle. But
okay.
now, like, obviously, if I step any closer, it's gonna kick me off. So
Right, right.
this is like really
Could you pinch and
frustrating.
zoom?
Uh,
I'm
nah.
teasing. Kathy LaGrange, that's the thing. He wouldn't be alive today. They were attempting to murder him for the life of you. Okay. The thing of it is, we only know what Kyle's intention was because Kyle is alive to speak, and the other men are not.
Well,
And that's
Grosskreutz. Oh my God. See what I
I
mean? Like,
I
where's that
feel
AR? God damn it.
right. I feel like
Wisconsin is getting to me.
what they thought they were
So
doing
funny.
was in an attempt to prevent more loss of life. And that's the truth. Otherwise, who would run if you're not armed? Would you run at somebody with a gun? No. If they had been armed with any type of weapon, a bat, a knife, a gun, even a smaller gun, that would make me understand your point and probably agree with your point. But they weren't. And I think that they would argue that they were trying to stop more shoot. They were trying to stop more loss of life by attempting to take his gun. But of course, in those situations, you can't sit down and you're not having a debate. It's very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm still like, shocked. Chris Myers, I think you're talking about uh, Gage Grosskreutz. He had a 9 millimeter that he held in his hand. Well, first of all, that the same individual approached Kyle as he was running from the scene and asked him, "What happened? Did you shoot someone?" And Kyle said, "No, I didn't. I'm going to the police." So Gage already encountered Kyle, and if Kyle wanted to, or I'm sorry, Gage wanted to shoot Kyle, he could have done it then, because Kyle was still armed and still running with an AK-15. So then a couple of minutes / seconds later, Gage learns that, oh, he did shoot someone, because he now is seeing the crowd running after him and telling him, hey, he just shot somebody, stop him, stop him. So yes, I would say that that would be like a situation when you're trying to stop an active shooter. So did I lose Jen?
No, I just
Yeah,
need a
okay.
cigarette.
Oh.
How
And
do
then
Go ahead.
when Kyle started shooting, he had his Gage had his 9 millimeter in his hand, and he put his hands up in a surrender fashion or whatever. Then he kills Anthony Huber, and Gage then puts a foot back, and Kyle shoots. Now people say that he was pointing the gun at his head, and I reckon that if your arm is blown off by an AR-15, I don't think you can really control where the fuck you point your gun at, like at that point. So, and plus, this is all like a matter of split seconds. Sorry for cussing. I'm already just a little bit ticked off.
Right. Which is what I was saying. Like, we're talking about split-second decision making on everybody and on all parts. Everybody that was involved in this. One thing that I will say that was argued heavily by the defense, which I personally did not see
What was that?
on.
Okay, thank you. They come a looting, we're gonna come a shooting, says this guy. Very nice, huh?
Yeah. So I know that there was a point when there was a crowd, right? But I watched the crowd, and the minute the shots were fired, there was a hole. Like people spread out, they moved back, and even when he was walking,
to the crime scene.
okay, and even when he was walking, there, from what I saw, which is what the jury saw, okay, I at that point I did not feel that Kyle was being threatened. I think they were following him mainly to be witnesses. Where are you going? Why'd you shoot that guy? You know, that kind of thing. They weren't chasing him. They weren't yelling obscenities at him. So
I'm not sure if I'm gone or if you just stopped talking.
I just stopped talking because I was thinking. This is like a deeper, bigger, broader conversation.
I don't agree. I don't know. I don't agree. I don't agree, Jen. I think for me the situation was clear cut, and maybe I'm biased, obviously, because I've been following this like
Yeah.
since it was happening. Um, and I think this case got convoluted by different political agendas because you have all the
Yes, I
elements to
agree.
create. You have all the elements to create a controversial national debate, and we can't forget that this happened in August. Was that? Yeah, that was right before the elections too. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, in my opinion, when we look at this case as a criminal case, and you just look at the elements,
Excuse
of
me.
course, you can take into consideration the context of the riots and the lootings.
Mm-hmm.
And to that, I say, there's, there's the National Guard were out here. There are multiple law enforcement agencies who are trained and equipped to deal with the situation. So fine, if these people wanted to protect their properties, cool. But again, Kyle came from a different state, and that's where I think the criminal acts begin.
I will agree
Night
with.
that he decided, the very night that he decided to get in the car.
Hold on a second, Dr. B.
And
That is Dr. B's walking, not my lighter. I've done smoked half the cigarette already. Coolest review, just so you know.
So here's the car source, and this is one of them. I think the actual shooting took place down. I don't even know, but
It's hard to tell because first of all, I'm not from there. I've never been there, but everything looked different. It's weird how this one place can look like a totally different place just because it's dark, just because it's nighttime. You know what I mean?
So here's the car source, back in business. There's a 63rd Street one too. I think that's further down. Hi.
Hang on just a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to leave the other one. I think I can maintain for the rest of the time. Oh, I didn't realize you were streaming both to Facebook and YouTube. Do you have somebody over there on Facebook to mod?
Am I making noises while I'm walking?
Just the sound of your walking is making a noise. You're walking. It's going to be a noise.
No.
Chris, no, that wasn't. Nope. And let me just say this for the record, if that had been my lighter, you know what I would have, and it wasn't working, I would have just used the toaster.
Yeah, so that was the first car source. And I see the other one down there.
Now that I can't remember Chris Myers. I guess I could Google it, but I'm not going to right now.
My Wi-Fi went back on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'll walk us through.
Okay.
Okay, so Kyle was up at that gas station with the fire extinguisher and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So then he began walking this way to make his way over to the 63rd Street houses, which is right up at the corner. And somewhere between here and that car source, him and Rosenbaum had that exchange. We're chasing him again. Further down. So here's the hospital where we ended up taking Rosenbaum to. It's right across the street.
Okay.
Hit by a car. Right. So this is where it begins. On the other side of the street. You recognize?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Kyle, then
Mm-hmm.
they ran, chased each other over there,
Yep.
and then this is the hospital. So I'm like right across the street. Right. So I'm gonna cross the street, and then I'm gonna try to uh, re like walk the path or I don't
Okay.
know, he just went red light. Maybe I should go write him a ticket, since I guess Wisconsin, you can act like the police anytime you want.
Did you get that license plate? Chase after him. Give him a ticket.
License and registration, please.
Mm-hmm.
Right, look at all these houses. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where the first shooting took place. So I'd say that's pretty fucking reckless. Again, sorry for cussing, but it's Friday, so we'll survive. Yogi, you're a troll. For real, for real. That's called, what Yogi's doing is called baiting. And, I don't tell you. Also, screw this light.
I thought we covered this. I thought we decided that we were not going to be not going to be calling names. Like, come on.
Yeah, just people can't handle their own emotion is what I cannot understand. Like, it's your emotion. And you get the liberation of being behind the keyboard. Okay, they park these cars like way too close. But yeah, this is what they were protecting. A bunch of junk cars. A junkyard. This is what people lost their lives for. A junkyard. So, obviously,
Yeah.
this is where it all went down. And there was another camera over here that captured Kyle from this angle, where when he picked up his phone, he said, I just killed somebody.
Right. Which
So,
I found that this when he was on cross examination, I found that part of the cross examination particularly interesting because
this is pathetic. Look
you're
at
not
this.
right. You can't
I can't believe
use
this.
deadly force to protect property, right? That is illegal. But every person that was there to protect that Tom Thumb, like seriously, is that really? I'm not even gonna try. Never mind. I'm gonna finish my point. Anyway, I found it interesting that that is illegal to use deadly force to protect a piece of property, right? To protect property. However, everybody that was there protecting that property was armed, which doesn't make sense to me. So, what were you going to if it's illegal to protect property with the use of deadly force? It's such a contradiction. It's like
And
a
this is,
recipe for disaster. And I understand people being concerned, right? Because they don't want their businesses destroyed. I get that. I'm not oblivious to that. Okay. And that's not even my point.
This is about where the second and third shootings happened. So Anthony Huber would have died somewhere here in the middle of the street. And Kyle would then get up and continue running this way. And right by that light up there, where you see the gas station, that's about where the police line had made it to. So as he ran down the center of Sheridan with his rifle, the police told them to go home.
Yes, Cody, I agree. You protect your property with your presence and your words, and you protect your life with a rifle, right? But where does the line cross? If you're standing on top of a building, right, and the person lights the building on fire, are they attempting to destroy the building, or are they attempting to destroy you? And that's where it becomes muddled. That is my point. What if they didn't see you on the top of the building and their only intention was to set the building on fire? So if that were the situation, I'm not defending anyone. I haven't said anything about any person one way or another in this trial.
Danny Young
Not
is
the
getting
defendant
blocked too.
and not the victims in this situation. I've not said anything.
Clouds, he wasn't being stomped into the ground. He was hit 3 times in an attempt to stop him from fleeing the scene of the shooting. Okay.
And this is the point that I'm trying to get to. You have to take your emotion out of it, okay? Let me say it again loud and proud. I support the Second Amendment. I support responsible gun ownership, okay? I also respect people's right, even though they have the right to bear arms, if they choose not to, I respect that too. Okay, it's your choice. What I'm simply saying and what I'm simply asking for people to think about is if they were there to protect their lives with their weapons, then why were they standing on top of roofs? Because that's what they were there to protect, the building. So if they weren't seen on top of the roof and somebody had come and set the building on fire, right? Then that person not only would have been charged with the destruction of the property, but they would have also been charged with whatever happened to the person that they didn't see on the roof of the building, right? They would have been charged with homicide, or not homicide, manslaughter at the most, or at the least. They would have caught a charge for it, and they would have been found guilty.
Let me
Okay.
read Ryan's comment. Ryan says they stomped him in the head and used the skateboard as a weapon and had a gun pulled on him. What would you do in this case? Well, for one, I wouldn't run from the scene of a shooting. How's that? More garbage cars that, cost lives and limbs. This is the roof. This is where Kyle was stationed. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is what we're protecting.
I will say this, Yogi J, that I said this earlier. I feel like if people don't know the story, it's because they chose not to know. Because in this situation, you didn't have to go to any news source for what occurred. Multiple people streamed it. Regular, normal, everyday people. That's what I'm saying, though, Cody. What if they didn't? What if they didn't? Even if they didn't, they still would have been charged. And let's be realistic, too. There are obviously certain things that can be used as deadly weapons. Bruce Lee's fist, for example, are deadly weapons. Okay, but they are not registered deadly weapons. When he was born, when he got his hands, they weren't deadly weapons then. A gun is a deadly weapon, the end, period, because that's what it's there for. That's its intended purpose and use. That's it. So to say that a skateboard is a deadly weapon, could it be used as a deadly weapon? Sure. Of course it can be. But that's not its intended purpose. You're breaking up, babe.
Do you hear the detective testify in court as to am I lagging?
I'm not exactly hurt. Yeah, you are a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. Puffy clouds. I am not. A skateboard can be used as a deadly weapon. Did I or did I not just say that? Okay. My children, my boys are skaters. I grew up around skateboards. Okay. I understand what a skateboard can be used for. Okay. What I'm saying is that that's not its intended use, which is different than a gun. That was the point. Yes, coolest reviews. Anything can be turned into a deadly weapon. That's the point. You didn't bring in a side thing. This is part
bring
of it.
it,
This
Puffle.
is what
bring
yeah, this is what we're like discussing is all the aspects that went into this case. Yes, Shmita, they can. This is my confusion about the hero part of it. Okay. What did he actually stop that night? Were any buildings not set? Did he stop buildings being set on fire? No, because he put fires out, so they were already on fire. Did he stop violence? No, because violence occurred anyway. Did he stop the rioting? Because I want to be very clear. There's a difference between a protest and a riot. And there were protests going out there that night, and there were also riots going on out there that night. So let's be clear. But did he stop any of that? No. I'm just not sure what he stopped other than other humans from breathing. He didn't stop anything.
I don't know if you guys heard me, but I'm gonna head back to my car to charge up a little bit, and
Okay.
and I guess I'll just drive off. But I do see, sorry guys, but I do see new media people arriving and setting up camp, so it's looking like they do plan on staying into the evening at least. So,
But Ryan, protecting your own life doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't make you a hero. That's my point. Is I don't understand
why
the
does this?
listen, if somebody were coming at me with a gun,
Ugh.
right? And I had a gun and I shot back, I would feel incredibly guilty. And the last thing I would want to be called is a hero for defending my own life, right? So if you believe that he defended his own life, everybody should defend them. Most people would defend themselves. That's like human nature, is to survive, right? That doesn't necessarily make you a hero. And that's the part where I'm confused about. Is the hero label? That's my question. I know
Okay.
you didn't say that he was a hero, Ryan. Feel like my point is not coming across, so I'm expounding on it a little bit so that that's the part I don't understand. I'm not saying you called him a hero, just the people who do generally, not you specifically.
Oof. Whew, I am getting really warm. Am I here?
You are here.
Yay. Okay. Let's take a drive down these streets. I am. Oh, I'm not a slow walker. Thank you, Heather. I thought you said I am because I literally have not walked in years. Um, let's see, which way do I want to take you? Let's go this way. Look at this beautiful lake in Kenosha, Lake Michigan. It is gorgeous.
So username taken. He was there rendering help and cleaning up the destruction. Okay.
Was it his job to do that while the destruction is happening? Didn't he try to like take one of the garbage containers from one of the people who were trying to set it on fire? Like that's the type of thing that I see at least is due to Kyle's lack of experience and lack of knowledge of just life in general. I mean, yeah, he had no business being out there. I'm sorry, but
I mean, I could get on board with the cleaning up the destruction, but it's sort of like trying to clean up in the middle of a party. What's the point? Shouldn't you wait till the party's over? Not that a protest is a party, not that that was a party last night. It's simply an analogy. I feel like I don't know.
now what?
I don't know.
Oh, you can hear me. I didn't
Now,
know you
yeah,
could
I
hear
can
me.
hear you. Yeah.
I will, Miss Honey. I will. I'm just trying to see where I could post up, as they say.
Yeah, Momo, he could.
Yikes. Okay, here's the crowd now. I'm driving through. As you can see, like, they've pretty much dispersed. It's just media out here.
Yeah.
I can't get through here. Well, I'm excited. I got to see one of the live streamers that was there that night. That was
Oh,
so
yeah?
cool. Yeah.
I gotta
Can
say,
you
Mike
still hear me? Are you
Garcia,
there,
I'm
Jen?
reading the comments. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello. I gotta say, I have to agree with you, uh, Mike Garcia, only because that had like that's a weird argument to make. We've all seen the footage, right? And none of us had to see the footage on any
Jen?
media source. Yes, can you not hear me? Obviously, you can, or you wouldn't be asking. Like you don't that's I have to agree with Mike. There wasn't really that was unnecessary to make as the foundation for an argument because again, this was streamed by 11 billion people and posted to multiple different platforms. So there was no reason that it had to come from mainstream media. If you chose to watch it there, that's one thing, but you didn't that wasn't the only source. So I have to agree.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna park. I'm gonna park right here by this car source, and by where all the shootings happened. And I'm gonna stop for a minute and just talk to you guys and chat while I have my phone on charge.
I agree, Mike Garcia. All media is biased to some degree, and let's think about why that is. Because the media is run by human beings, and is despite our people's best efforts, they all come in with some form of bias or another, and that's just the truth.
Oh yeah. Damn it. All right. I don't wanna have people's like license plates in my live stream.
Right, right.
So I'm trying to find a spot that's
That
kind of
looks good.
open. Yeah. There it is. Right on the corner of Sheridan and what is this, 50 something or 60 something. Trying to make this stay. All right. Are we still all here?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so
Like, I don't know what's going on Facebook, because Facebook works different through StreamYard. So it doesn't show, like, if you know how on Facebook, when you're commenting, if you click the person that you're wanting to comment to, it'll show you a reply. Okay, you see that you're replying to somebody, but StreamYard doesn't show that. So it makes it very difficult to tell if the comments are directed at Dr. B and I or at another chatter. But I will please remind you guys on Facebook, there is a civil way to debate this case and get your feelings and whatnot and your opinions out, okay, without calling people losers or whatever. Like, it's not necessary. All right, it's just not. I understand that people feel very strongly about this case. Cool. Feel strongly, feel all the feelings, but don't be rude to other people while you're expressing it. It's not
yeah.
necessary.
Yeah, Sally 79. I do agree that it was genuine. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I had a similar reaction when I heard those verdicts being read out loud. So I wouldn't expect him not to have a genuine response to getting off with, killing two people and injuring one. So,
Yes, Mike Garcia, correct. This is a discussion that needs to be had. But throwing names and insults and whatnot is not gets you nowhere. I'm. It makes people. If you really want your message to be heard, and this is on both sides, right? If you're being a jerk about it and you're calling people names, then the person that you're trying to get the message across to at least hear your message and perhaps entertain considering your message will be lost. And that's the problem. Everything that took place that night, go ahead, Dr. B.
oh, I'm not saying anything.
No, I want you to.
I'm listening.
Nobody won today. Nobody won. This isn't a victory. And even if Kyle had been found guilty, nobody would have tried to take your firearms that you're legally allowed to own, as long as you were legally allowed to own them.
Yeah, Mike Garcia was on Facebook, so that's why you can't see him. Team Psych Ward. I highlighted.
Yeah. Wow. Because I never think anybody wins when somebody dies. Period. I mean, we could really, if you want to have the Constitution argument, we certainly can. When was the Constitution written and what were the arms back then? They were muskets. So by the Constitutions, we're supposed to be carrying around muskets. I mean, come on. This isn't about the Constitution, and it wasn't about gun ownership or gun rights. Not ownership, rights. That's not what this was about. I don't understand why it's being turned into that argument. This trial was about whether or not he was using self-defense or not, period. For the 11 billionth time, I support the Second Amendment. I always have. I'll be back, Dr. B.
Okay. Sorry about that. Can everyone hear me? Hi, Jen.
Hey, babe, sorry. There is a comment that I want to address just real quick.
Oh, geez, I can't hear Jen.
Can
Or,
you
I
hear
mean,
me now?
I can hear you, but you're
Okay.
sounding like a
Well, as long
voice
as
changer
I'm
again. So I'm just
all
gonna
right.
start driving.
Okay. Hold on, let me. To answer you, Rebecca Marie, I do support the Second Amendment. I don't support or not support the outcome of the trial. I'm surprised by it, but I'm not saying, I don't, that's it. That's how I feel. And to answer or to address Matthew Dettori, I think this stream is upset because they weren't expecting the audience they got. No, I understand that people feel very, very strongly about this specific trial and situation, right? But I don't see the point in attempting to have a discussion when it just always derails into a bunch of insults and name calling, which I think is so counterproductive and ridiculous and unnecessary. And that's my frustration. I'm not the chances are that there's no magical set of combination of words that are going to change anybody's mind on either side, but at least we should all be willing to hear the other side. But it's very difficult to want to hear anybody who's hurling insults at you. Like, I don't want to hear it. That's it. Chris, but what truth?
Fuck, man. I just removed Jen for some reason. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Am I back? I hope there aren't any riots at all, period. Rioting isn't necessary. Rioting accomplishes nothing. What have I actually claimed, Chris Folk? What have I claimed? What I said was, I was surprised that he wasn't found guilty on one of the lesser included charges. That's it. That's what I said. That's the thing, though, Chris. The truth of the case. And then you bring in what you regard as the liberal left, right? Okay. Yes, truth should be just truth. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, we're human beings. And truth, for us, most of the time, is based on perspective. And that's the real truth.
So annoying.
We don't have to agree on this. We can disagree. But what I'm not going to do is insult you. I'll argue with you about an argument, right, about the topic, but I'm not going to argue with you about who you voted for or what religion you are, because those things don't matter to me. Now, they might matter to you, and that's cool too, but I'm not going to blame or name call you. So if that's what you're looking for, is to get a rise out of me so that I'll call you a name, you're not going to get it from me.
Oh, you don't want to get roasted by Jen Lou. Are you serious?
I don't roll like that.
Are they asking for a roasting by Jen Lou? That's what I want to know.
I don't think they're
Because you're
asking
about to
for
get
it like
served.
outright. I
You're
don't think
about to get
anybody's
served.
Rebecca, what is your question? I didn't see her question.
Sasha, I just left the courthouse. There was a little bit of a crowd earlier in front of the courthouse, but they dispersed. There's still a lot of people out there, but they're mostly media. So they're kind of just camping out there. I don't know if they're waiting, for evening to come, and if there's going to be more protests later on tonight. But as of right now, there's just a smaller crowd gathered in front of the courthouse.
All right. I think she's. Let me see if I can see her question. Yeah, not Yo Mama. It's on Facebook.
Well, Jen, I think we've been on for an hour and a half, and it's been a pretty frustrating live with the connection issues.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head home, and I will thank you all for joining our live, and we'll be back to have a more stable, I guess, discussion about this when I can settle in. So we'll be back to talk more about Kyle, but yeah, for now I'm gonna end it. And again,
All right.
thank you all for joining us and for coming with us to Kenosha. Pray for Kenosha. Hashtag Kenosha Strong, and just stay safe and be nice to everyone and each other.
Peace out.
All right. Thank you, Jen. Love you.